Hello, my name is Jennifer Downs, and I am presenting my PBL project called Math Matters, and it's for first grade students who it would be based out of a math class, but it's going to integrate language arts and some other disciplines as well. And I will be honest, I just came out of a surgery, and so I don't probably look or sound like I typically would. My sincerest apologies, but I am excited about this project. And for my presentation, I wanted to go ahead and make a YouTube video just explaining kind of what my idea was here for first grade mathematics unit on measurements. So I submitted this PowerPoint PDF in my project portion of the assignment, and this is the presentation portion where I'm going to just go over what's in that. And it talks about how this is for grade level 1. The class is going to build a box together. So we're going to take materials, raw materials, show students how they have the power to use a ruler and measure and see just what comes in, what parts play into construction and carpentry, and how they can take their rulers and their measurement tools and actually be a part of the process of building something. So as a class, we will build a box. And I'm going to kind of go over this here, what that's going to look like as I go through the project. But the goal here is to understand that different boards are going to have lengths that matter. So when we're dealing with first graders, we understand that they're working with a very elementary understanding of numbers and measurement, and we're trying to say, okay, if this board needs to be 8 inches, but I make it 10 inches instead, that will change the whole shape of the box, and it will no longer be a cube or a square. It'll look like, perhaps if we had a 10 inch and then 2 8-inch, we might end up looking like a triangle or a trapezoid. So bringing into the elements of shapes and how measurements affect every part of mathematics, I think is a critical part of this project, and will be very helpful for students when they see it in person and get to be a part of the process. Also, for part of the fun of this, they're going to get to present their project at the very end to their grandparents and parents who choose to come, and they'll get to wear hard hats or bring, pretend construction gear and things to make that a fun presentation. Basically, we're looking at the different standards that are related to this, operations and algebraic thinking. They're using an addition and subtraction within 20 to solve word problems, because I'm going to be saying things like, oh, we need this to be 8 inches long, and right now it's 10 inches long. How many inches would I need to take away from this to get from 10 to 8? So we're going to be working in the form of story problems just because I'm giving instructions, and we're going to be working as a class to get the boards the correct size. And once we've gotten our measurements done, I will take the boards to Lowe's or Home Depot, where they will cut them for me, and I will videotape that process to show the kids the next day in class. Look at what it looks like when boards are cut based off the measurements we came up with and marked on our boards. I think that'll be a fun part for them, and it's safe. They can watch the cutting happen of our boards without them actually being in the premises of a saw, because if I'm dealing with a whole class of first graders, there's some obvious safety concerns with that. Also, with that portion of the lesson, that will be a fun part, is looking at what kind of safety gear do the employee at Lowe's use. Were they wearing any kind of safety gloves? Were they wearing goggles, a hard hat? What kind of saw did they use? So we're kind of incorporating lots of different safety concerns and issues in there. This box is being built together. So for our 21st century skills, we're learning communication and collaboration technology. They're going to get to see saws working. They're going to get to use rulers themselves. We may end up using calculators and calculation, depending on whether the students are able to come up with the math on their own. If not, I would bring into the class the calculator and show them how that looks and how that works. Life skills, any kind of time you're working with construction or carpentry, you're looking at skills that could be used for a student's whole entire lifetime. And the way I would launch this whole lesson and unit is to say, hey, have any of you wondered how big an inch is? Let's look at it with I'm going to have pieces of paper that I'll be handing out with a ruler printed on it so the students can see what that looks like. Well, let's find where it says number 1. That's 1 inch. And get them excited about, you can figure out how many 3 inches is. Okay, now where's the 3? Okay, that's 3 inches. And go through with the students exactly what size looks like, and what we hear the term 1 inch, but when you're in first grade, we need to understand, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? How is that relevant to building? So kind of tying that in with some interesting and engaging questions. Can you guess how many inches wide this board is? Bringing in a board that we're going to start out with, if it's this wide, saying, well, how many inches wide do you think this is? Look at your ruler. What do you think? Is it bigger than your ruler or smaller than your ruler? So comparison is one of our standards that we are working with. I forgot to touch base on a couple of those standards. With measurement and data, we would be talking about specifically, let me go back to that, because that relates to what I'm just saying. One of the things is understanding comparison is part of measurement, and also speaking and listening standards for ELA. This also provides an opportunity for that skill to be used, because there's going to be grandparents and parents coming to observe how we did this, and also opportunities within the lesson for the students to share experiences they've had with building. So as I get them engaged in the project, I'm going to have them share their own experiences, like I just said. Well, tell me about the time you built something, or did you ever watch someone build something? Have you ever perhaps watched a grandparent or a parent build? Has your mom ever built anything in the house that you could use as a reference point? So just trying to get them excited about some of the things they've seen in the past, relating it to this experience. And students will be carrying out this project. We're going to be taking the boards, and I'm just going to kind of go over this. I'll be taking the boards. The students will help me with the measurement. Like I said, I'll be doing things in forms of word problems, and just giving them the opportunity to say, okay, if I need this to be 6 inches, and right now it's 4 inches, well, how much longer does it need to be than it is? Working as a team and as a class to write down where that is on the board with a pencil, getting them excited about the process of the hammering and the nails, and then that evening I would go ahead and have it cut, or if we took a few days to do that, that's fine. And when we're at that next point, my step would be to go get it cut, to have that videotaped, to show that to the kids the next day, and to talk to them about the exciting process of building and construction, safety within building and construction. And then the students and I would start putting that together, creating the box that we're going to be building. And when that box is completed, we'll be able to show it to grandparents and parents and have a big party, basically, where we have them all come and get to see the presentation of our class construction box. I think that would be so exciting for first graders who are already interested in construction, most of them, Bob the Builder and carpentry, and getting them the chance to say, hey, I helped build something. And that box can be a part of our classroom from then on, to hold file folders or to hold just whatever we decide as a class we want to put in there. Maybe we use it even as like some kind of a treat box or snack box or something. To wrap up, I have a rubric here, and it's in my product submission, and it just shows I'm going to be wrapping this up with an activity sheet that kind of sums up the things we learned while we were building. Also, I'm constantly informally assessing while we're building, and just watching the students, making sure they're catching on to what's going on and what we're doing. And as they correctly document the data, and they show me that they're able to put that in their notebooks, they show me with their activity sheet that they're having success in understanding inches and size, then they'll get points on the rubric for that unit of lesson. That pretty much sums up. The big part, I think that would be fun, will be the final party where we get to show it to grandparents. And that's the last page in my packet. And at the point to parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles, whoever it needs to be shown to. And the point of that is we want the end of any kind of PBL to be public, and for there to be sort of a celebratory feeling towards the end of that. So that's what we're trying to accomplish there. I learned a lot about project-based learning through this class, and again, I apologize. My end of my semester kind of got a wrench thrown in it through no foreknowledge of mine. But I feel like I learned a lot, and I look back at this semester and think, wow, I had no idea just how the wave of education's moving towards project-based learning, and I think it's a good thing, because I think it will help learning to become integral to daily life, which is the whole goal of teaching in the first place. We want to actually affect students' lives and their futures. So I liked my PBL project because I felt like it was practical, and it has a good purpose to it, and that there would be definite value in this project for a student for the future. And it will teach certain presentation skills and things that we don't necessarily normally learn in the classroom in a new way, in a fresh way. So I enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to take this class and to learn all these things that I did, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.